just wanted to pop on here really, really quick because I am about to pass out. It's 3 in the morning here in Georgia. Um, but I just have not done a live reading or a live in a while besides Qigong. And I've been recommending this book for so long since my friend Nancy introduced it to me when I worked at Chapter 11 bookstore. And it's just been such an incredible guide for me all these years. It's just such a beautiful concept to feel that connection with the animal kingdom and to feel that the animals are guiding us spiritually in our lives. And, that's why I don't take it. Like, I don't really get into it when people are like, oh, what's your spirit animal? Because I don't feel like that's the depth of where I want to go. Like, animal speak is about spirit animals, but it's not about you choosing it. It's about the animals choosing you and coming to you and giving you messages. And the basic concept is your relationship with nature and the web that we're all interweaved into. So in chapter 1, I'm just going to read like the first paragraph or two before I just choose an animal and read about that. Chapter 1 is called The Spiritual and Magical Roles of Nature. There was a time when humanity recognized itself as part of nature and nature as part of itself. Dreaming and waking were inseparable realities. The natural and the supernatural merged and blended. People used images of nature to express this unity, and to instill a transpersonal kind of experience. I love that word, transpersonal. In the past, shamans, priests, and priestesses were the keepers of the sacred knowledge of life. These individuals were tied to the rhythms and forces of nature. They were capable of walking the threads that link the invisible and visible worlds. They helped people remember that all trees are divine and that all animals speak to those who listen. All trees are divine, y'all. I needed to read that. This has been an intense week as we only have like 3 more days to save the crepe myrtle tree. But we're not giving up. I do want to read more about the general idea of animal speak and listening to what animals are telling you. But I'm really tired, so maybe another time I'll go into that. This time, I've had a couple of friends who have had foxes come to them. So let's just read about foxes. I'm not sure if foxes are in here, but we will find out. Yes. Fox. Oh, I'm already into it. Let's see, it also said page 32, so let me just see what that is. And this is about discovering what your animal totem is as well. It says, once you discover your totem, which this book will help you do, study it, learn its individual characteristics and behaviors. These same characteristics and behaviors can be developed by you to make your life more productive. In this way, the animal becomes your teacher. Just as predator and prey become stronger and wiser in developing their skills, you will do likewise. Fox. Keynote. Feminine magic of camouflage, shape-shifting, and invisibility. Cycle of power, nocturnal dawn and dusk. The fox is a totem that has touched almost every society on the planet. It is a totem that speaks of the need to develop or the awakening of camouflage, invisibility, and shape-shifting. It is one of the most uniquely skilled and ingenious animals of nature. It can teach these skills to those whose life it enters. There are 21 species of fox, and they can be found in most parts of the world and in varied climates. It is found along the seashores and in the mountains, in the deserts and in the Arctic. It lives in North and South America, Europe, Asia, and even Australia. The fact that there are 21 different kinds of foxes found throughout the world has great metaphysical significance. Why is that, Mr. Andrews? Card 21 in the tarot deck is the world. It is a card that reflects a new world opening up, that the process of creation is beginning. It reflects that the world is growing and shape-shifting itself into new patterns that will be beneficial. Those with fox, for those with fox as a totem, meditating upon this card can be of benefit to understanding how fox energy will be helping with creation. It can reveal what is growing and shape-shifting or needing it within your own world. The fox has a long history of magic and cunning associated with it. Because it is a creature of the night, it is often imbued with supernatural power. It is often most visible at the times of dawn and dusk, the between times. When the magical world and the world in which we live intersect, the between times. It lives at the edges of forests and open land, the border areas. Because it is an animal of the between time and places, it can be a guide to enter the fairy realm. Its appearance at such times can often signal that the fairy realm is about to open for the individual. In the Orient, it was believed that foxes were capable of assuming human form. In ancient Chinese lore, the fox acquires the faculty to become human at the age of 50. And on its 100th birthday, it becomes either a wizard or a beautiful maiden who will ultimately destroy any man unlucky enough to fall in love with her. There are several American Indian tribes that tell tales of hunters who accidentally discovered their wives were foxes. This is very symbolic of the idea of magic being born within the feminine energies, and that unless a male can recognize the magic of the feminine in himself or others and learn to use it to shapeshift his own life, it will ultimately lead to destruction. I'm going to read that again. Unless a male can recognize the magic of the feminine in himself or others and learn to use it to shapeshift his own life, it will ultimately lead to destruction. The Cherokees invoke fox medicine to prevent frostbite, and Hopi shamans always wear fox skins in their healing rites. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce this. Choctaw saw fox as the protector of the family unity. Apaches credited fox with the killing of the evil bear and for sticking its tail fur into the flame and stealing fire for humans. In other societies, fox was also held in great esteem. In Persia, it was sacred, for it helped the deceased get to heaven. In Egypt, fox fur was thought to bring favor with the gods. The Indians of Peru had a fox god. The fox was often believed to reward those who did it service. An examination of fox behaviors and characteristics will reveal much about the role and the energy it represents for you individually. Almost all foxes have sharp snouts, large ears, long bushy tails, and long thin legs. The large ears help the fox to keep cool in the summer as they dissipate heat through them. For someone with a fox totem that has difficulty with summer heat, combing the hair behind the ears will almost always bring relief. The most common fox in North America is the red fox, but not all red foxes have reddish fur. The fur of the red fox has variations, just as human hair does. Some may have the reddish coat, others may be more brown, and still others may have a black and silver fur. In general, the red fox is associated with sexual energy, the kundalini, and the freeing of the creative life force. A study of colors and their symbology may help you further define the role of your fox in your life. Looks like a raccoon. The red fox is a powerful totem. This animal has long been associated with the magical acts of invisibility and shapeshifting. Its natural ability for camouflage stirs wonder in those who encounter it. I'm just going to skip ahead. For those with fox totems, it will be important to learn this art of camouflage and its related arts of invisibility and shapeshifting. The fox uses its ability at quiet camouflage to its best benefit. With practice, you can develop the same kind of ability and apply it so that you may see and hear things you otherwise could not. Interesting, eh? Another aspect of fox fur has significance as well for anyone with a fox totem. Hair is often associated with psychic energy serving as antenna. The fox has two kinds of fur. It has short, dense, woolly undercoat, and it has long, stiffer guard hairs that overlie the undercoat. This serves as a protector, and it is usually darkest on the back. Hair and fur are ancient symbols for energy and fertility. Fertility. And layers of fur reflect levels of energy and levels of fertility. With the fox, it is the undercoat, which is the primal energy source from which an individual draws his or her abilities. The outer layer protects and defines how that energy is being used by the individual. As the outer hair changes, so does the expression of the inner creative force. Hair should become very important to an individual with a fox totem. If a change is needed on certain levels, learning to change the hair to reflect the change desired helps to activate fox energy so that shape-shifting can begin. I am falling asleep on myself. So maybe we'll read more of this if you want. But most foxes have only one partner. They're very monogamous. They also live alone about 5 months of the year. They are often solitary and comfortable with that state most of the time. The red fox females or vixens search for a den, usually only when they are pregnant. If possible, they return to that same den year after year, adding to it and making it larger and more comfortable. Probably the fox's cleverest hunting technique is charming. In this technique, the fox is seen near a prey, performing various antics. It will leap and jump and roll and chase itself so that it charms the prey's attention. While performing, the fox draws closer and closer without its prey realizing, as it is caught up in its seemingly non threatening antics. Then, at the right moment, the fox leaps and captures its prey. This is a camouflage technique, one associated with behavior. It is one that those with fox totems can use to capture any prize. As you develop attunement to the fox and learn its magic, any prize can fall to you. Good night, my loves. If you, maybe I'll read the whole thing, especially like if you comment below and you're like, read more on this animal or read this animal. Good night. Oh my gosh. Have a beautiful, meaningful rest of your weekend. Falling asleep on myself. Oh my gosh.